Om Shanti. So today morning I was thinking about Dadi Janki after the Amrit Vela, and I was thinking about how she just continued to serve until the very end of this journey in this body, almost up to the age of 105. So only in the later, I think last 1 year, she must not have done too much service physically. Of course, with her spiritual stage, she was always serving until the last moment. But so what is it? And then Dadi is known to, have passed quite a few test papers of the body. So I was thinking about how to form a relationship with the body in such a manner that the body cooperates. So you see, these days people are facing a lot of papers of the body. And then you see that the soul is the master of the body. And if you just sit in the awareness of who you are and just lovingly command the body, not, I wouldn't say that it's kind of, you don't have to whiplash the body, like it's not hatha yoga. But if you just sit in the awareness of who you truly are and lovingly command the body, I think that is enough to get the body working and doing and, cooperating with you in whatever you want. So knowing yourself properly and knowing who you belong to and how powerful you are is, I think, the key to making everyone and everything cooperate with you. So, and if you look at the Murli, then Baba always says that even making Baba cooperate with you is about sitting in your position as who you are. So, Baba tells us that if you sit in the true consciousness of who you are, then you are able to forge a relationship with me whereby I am bound to come and be with you. So I think if this is true for Baba, it is true for everything. And we have created a culture and a sanskar of begging, pleading, asking, forcing, which is not necessary. So Baba is teaching us an alternate way of operating. And that alternate way is not about begging, pleading, asking, or forcing the other, even if it is Baba. It's about positioning yourself in such a manner that you are able to have that cooperation, that relationship with the other. And when you are in your power, then I think everything else automatically starts cooperating with you. Even the drama, I think. So Baba's power is available to you, drama's cooperation is available to you, your body starts cooperating with you, everyone and everything in the drama start to fall into harmony. And it's mostly about positioning yourself in the right place. And this is what I was thinking about early morning. And I remember some 5 days or 4 days back in the Murli, Baba said that you children, even if there is a 3-month-old child or, newer children, you have very sharp intellects. And I, that day, of course, I conducted the manthan and all, but then somewhere, there was this question about knowing more about what this sharp intellect is and what Baba means by newer children have sharper intellects. And then when I was reading today's Murli, I quite figured that out. And Baba in the Murli today says that your buddhi or your intellect should be able to hold that which your eyes can't see. And you see, when we were not introduced to science and technology, it was very difficult to become aware of the non-physical. So, we did not know that the X-ray exists or the ultraviolet ray exists, or, there is a pen drive and you can store data in it. Or, I remember when I went to my first computer class in school. So it was newly introduced, and I was one of the first batches who did learned some computer in school. And then when they taught us, conversion to binary, so, everything getting converted to 0 and 1, it was very amazing. And I felt like, how can so much of language be converted to 0 and 1? And then we used to convert programs to everything in 0 and 1, and it was very amazing. So, even compressing a whole lot of information to two things, 0 and 1, looked a very big deal to me at that time. And then understanding how it can be compressed into something non-physical, or, at least non-perceptible to the eyes and through the senses, was very difficult. And we couldn't understand the concept of how a pen drive could hold our data, or, or even the software, how it is working and how you can feed a program into a software and make it work. So I was just listening to the Murli today and was thinking that in earlier days it would have been so difficult. So, these days you are aware of the radiations that are around you, and with this coronavirus, you are always aware of the virus which you can't see. So we have become aware of quite a lot of things which we can't see, and science has brought us to that place where we do not reject the existence of the non-physical world. So, or, the physical yet subtle, so which cannot be seen through the naked eye. So earlier we used to think that whatever we can't see or hear doesn't exist. But with science and technology, that has become very possible. And then, so in that sense, I think our intellects are much faster, or, much more in greater capacity these days to understand spiritual realities which are not perceptible to the five senses. And Baba says that become aware of yourself, the soul. So in the meditation also, I was talking about this, and you see, you are so tiny. So just like you can't see the atom with the naked eye, yes, but at least you can see the atom with aided vision. So you can have a microscope, or I don't know whether the atom is visible with the microscope, so don't get me on that. But so you can see it through some aided vision. There must be some machine or something that the scientists have made, and you can see it. But the soul is not perceptible through aided vision also. Okay, so you cannot, at least not until now, there has not been an instrument which can see the soul. So Baba says, but just like the atom exists and the scientists were able to find it out later that it exists, and through those aided mechanisms they were able to see it. So you are a soul and you are so tiny that you are not visible to the eye, either to the naked eye or through aided vision, but you are very powerful. And just take your attention to who you are and what are your qualities. So Baba says the form is very tiny, but the qualities are many. And just go and take your awareness to your qualities and your capacities, and just know you are that one. Your quality and your capacity is not limited to your body or what you do on the external or the roles. You are a very powerful being. And just take your attention to your inner power, your innate power, and sit in that state. Because you have been relying on external power for very long, the power of the body, the power of, post position, relationships, money, and all. But Baba says that is collapsing. And in the Murli today, Baba says that don't forget what I am telling you. I am telling you that I have come to establish a new world. So you should have complete faith that this old world is ending and we have to go back and then come back to a new world. So Baba says, don't have any doubt about this. And then start encashing on your inner power, because whatever you have been relying on until now is going to collapse. So you just take your time to go within and sit with yourself and pay enough attention to your inner power so that you come to its awareness. So do you know that Baba has always told us that the solution in for time to it's the solution for such times when you will face challenges from the body and from the external environment, and things will be falling up and down and everything will be going topsy turvy. So what is the key to stay painless at that time? What is the key to stay unaffected in those times? The key is to become bodiless, because everything comes through the body. So you see, the whatever you see here, everything is coming through the body. If you have learned the art to stay in this bodiless state, that is, just stay in the state where you are not aware of the body and you're just aware of who you are and how powerful you are. And if you have made this practice enough, then you will never be experiencing any pain in whatever circumstances come what may. And this is the key to all the practices that the yogis before have done, whether it is Brahma Baba, whether it is Mama, whether it is Janki Dadiji, whether it is Gulzar Dadiji or Prakashmani Dadiji. Everyone has done this practice, and Baba says, take your time and put your attention to having this practice. So first, start thinking about who you are. Start seeing yourself in your true state, in your virtues, in your powers, completely separate from the body, and then start dwelling on your true nature and start realizing your potential and your power. And that is what Baba is telling us today. And then Baba says, connect with me by through this knowledge of who I am. And Baba says, I am the ocean. I am also a very small point, tiny point, just like you, but I am the ocean. So, you see, earlier we were only, when we thought about God, we were fixed about the form. So, when we talk about Sri Krishna, we are just, praising the look of Sri Krishna. But Baba says, looks are not what are going to serve you. What is going to serve you is the quality, the energy. And just become aware of that one which is full of energy, full of the peace and the purity, is the ocean. And yet so subtle in form that the form is not what you want to see. It's just the energy that you want to experience, and become aware of that ocean of peace, ocean of love, ocean of purity, ocean of power. And Baba says, when you take your awareness to me, who is the ocean, and just sit in loving connection with me and draw that into you, then you will start filling yourself with the subtle quality that you need. And it is not physical things that you need anymore. It is these subtle qualities that you need. But in order to understand them and sit in their experience, you need to go through the doorway of knowledge. So Baba is giving us the knowledge of the quality, and then Baba says, create a picture of what that quality is like, and just connect your mind and heart to that quality and draw that in. And this is Man Mana Bhav that Baba talks about. And as we do that, we will be full of the qualities of Baba that Baba is giving us. And Baba says, in bhakti, you always praised the deities, and you said, give me peace, give me happiness, give me love. And Baba says, now I am making you praiseworthy like me. So you thought that you thought that you are powerless and you don't have the quality of peace and love. And then Baba says, you sang praises about God, that you are the ocean of love and peace and purity. And Baba says, now you can become like that by just connecting with me, by knowing yourself and orienting your man and buddhi towards me. So this is very simple, but what is the glitch there? So where does the problem arise? So the problem is, we have had 63 births of body consciousness, and then these things keep pulling us. So we have to keep practicing doing this until we come to that state of stability in soul consciousness and God's consciousness. So this is something that Baba is talking about. Let me read the Murli a little by little and then keep explaining to you. So Baba says, sweet children, Baba has come to make you children praiseworthy, similar to himself. You are now imbibing the Father's praise. So Baba says, now I am giving you an opportunity to imbibe my praise, which is, you can be called by the same name as I am called. So people can also feel and experience that you are the master ocean of knowledge and purity and peace. But Baba says, what you have to do is, you have to connect with me and become like me. The question is, with which expression do people on the path of devotion call out and remember God the Beloved with a lot of love, even though they don't know Him fully? So people in devotion, they don't know who Baba is or what He's doing or whether He's giving something or not giving to them. They just have faith that whatever they have is being given by Baba. But now Baba is actually giving us and fulfilling us. Yes, so Baba is teaching us, giving the knowledge in a very practical way. and giving us the sustenance in a very practical way. But in devotion, people don't get anything. So, you ever try asking a devotee a very simple question? So, first you ask them that, so you just ask them whether whatever they are receiving is because of their karma or because of God. So then they will definitely say it is karma. And then you ask them, then what is God giving you? And then they don't know what God is giving them. So this is why it is blind faith, because you think that God and karma are the same thing, and then you say that God is giving you something, and then you say that whatever I'm getting is because of my karma, and then you don't know what God is doing. But Baba says, in a Brahmin's life, God is practically working. So God is giving you the knowledge and the power to do good karma. So karma you are doing, but the practical manifestation of what God is giving you is the knowledge and the power to do good karma, whether it is thought, word, or action. And yesterday I was talking to a Mata, and she told me that, Didi, for 30 years I have been bitter about my husband, and every time he started to talk, I just had flashes of whatever went on in those 30 years, and I was very resentful and bitter about having any conversation with him. But ever since I have come to Baba, magically, it's been 5 years, of course, but I feel it is very magical that these days I can sit with my husband, and for 1 hour I can listen to him without judgment or without resentfulness, and I can just sit through that whole conversation. Although I wouldn't say I'm very loving towards him, but I can sit through a whole conversation in a non-judgmental and not resentful way. Even though sometimes I just choose to turn my attention to Baba and meditate at that time, but at least I can sit through a 1 hour conversation, which is great. So you see, Baba gives the knowledge and the power to do good karma. So good karma is when you're non-judgmental. Of course, good karma is when you're loveful, but at least being non-judgmental and not resentful is also okay. So Baba says, I'm giving you so I am doing things very practically for you. In bhakti, people just have faith that God is there and He's helping. And Baba says, just that blind faith, and then what they say is, Baba, we are willing to lay our whole lives for you. Yes, and then Baba says, I've come and I am dealing with you, and I'm giving you the sustenance and all you need. So then what do you have to give in return? So Baba says, I have made you a child from a Bhagat. I have made you somebody who has a right to God's knowledge and virtues and powers, from somebody who kept begging. And what I want you to do in return is remember me. And Baba says, remembering Baba is the first duty of the child. So Baba today says, this is your first duty. You cannot say, I won't do this duty. So this is your duty. God is giving you so much, and this is your duty to just remember Him. And if you remember Him, then you get everything that Baba has come to give you. So Baba says, they call out and remember Him with a lot of love. Who they? The people who do devotion. Saying, oh beloved, when you come, I will only remember you. And so, wait a second. So Baba says, they remember Him with a lot of love. And they say, when you come, I will only remember you and break my intellect's yoga away from everyone else and connect it to you alone. The Father says, children, I have now come. Therefore, become soul conscious. Your first duty is to remember the Father with a lot of love. So there are two other things. Become soul conscious, because I told you it is how you position yourself that determines the relationship you will have with the other. So when you become soul conscious, you will be able to connect with Baba. And then Baba says, also remember me with a lot of love, because only love is sustainable. So you cannot do anything forever if you don't love it. So what I have understood is any practice is only sustainable when there is love in it. And Baba says, if you remember me with love, then you will be able to do it forever, at least until the end of this lifetime. Otherwise, you will do it for some time, and then, and I have seen that there are many children who do it to get something, and they will say that I heard some brother or some sister in BK saying that if you do 21 days of meditation, then you will get this, or your desires will get fulfilled. And then what they do is they start doing it for 21 days, but they cannot go on up to 21 days also, because they are not doing it out of love. So it's so anything that you need to do even for 7 days has to be done with love, let alone a lifetime. But even for 7 days you need love to do it. Otherwise, Maya will be able to cut that connection, and the only thing which Maya cannot overpower is love. So that is what Baba is saying. So become soul conscious and remember Baba with a lot of love. Baba says, you were willing to lay your life for me. I am not asking for that. All I am asking is just remember me with a lot of love. Okay, become soul conscious and remember me with a lot of love. Now, Baba in the Murli today says, Baba says, always consider it to be Shiv Baba teaching through this one. It is a soul that speaks to other souls. However, because people are body conscious, they think that so and so is teaching. In fact, it is souls who do everything. It is souls who play their parts. You have to become soul conscious. Repeatedly consider yourself to be a soul. Until you consider yourself to be a soul, you won't be able to remember the Father, you will forget him. So I want to talk about this point that Baba is saying, that everything that one speaks or does is the soul speaking or doing. Now, what does it mean? So you see, every soul has just 4 things. The man, the buddhi, the original sanskar and the acquired sanskar. Right? So the reason for every behavior lies in the quality of these 4 things. Because everybody is thinking the way they do, behaving the way they do, because of these 4 things. The quality of their mind, the quality of their buddhi, of course the quality of original sanskars never changes, so the quality of the acquired sanskars. Now, you see, you take and give a lot of sorrow because you can't see that the reason behind every behavior is just these 3 things. The quality of the man, buddhi and the sanskars, that's it. So you take sorrow because you see that one in body consciousness, and then you think that this person is behaving with me, so I will give you an example about this. So there was this lady and she told me, she's a doctor, and then she told me that my father is a very angry person, and because of his aggressive nature, I have had a lot of trauma in my childhood. And then now also, when there is a time when I visit him, those days are not very pleasant days, because I keep being afraid of how he would behave, and then when he does the same things, it upsets me. So then I said, how do you deal with patients who are ill behaved? So she said, I'm good with it. So they are patients, so we have to deal with them. So I said, don't you see your father is also a patient? Why don't you have some compassion for your father? Because he's not your father, he's a soul, and he has that sanskar. And just like every other soul you are meeting in your journey as a doctor, he also deserves some compassion and empathy from you. So she said, no, that's very difficult. And you see, whenever I see my father, all these memories keep coming back, and I don't know. So I said, just try it very physically. What you do is, whenever you are in front of your father, don't look him in the eye, look him in the center of the forehead. And just remind yourself that this is a soul sitting, and I'm a soul here, and I, the soul, am the child of Baba, and I'm a healer, and this soul is a patient, and I have to deal with compassion with him. And do this practice consciously. First, remind yourself that your Lokik and Alokik, both profession is that of a healer, and you are a soul. And then remind that this soul is a patient because of the sanskars they have. Everybody is a patient right now, right? So only you are the master surgeon because you are studying from the surgeon. So we were also patients, but Baba is the one who takes you from being a patient and makes you a master surgeon. So Baba says that you look at yourself as the master surgeon and remember this one is a patient, then everything gets solved. And within 10 days, she told me that the relationship had changed. So this is something that Baba says, always remember who are you dealing with and who are you. So when you remember who you are in your original state, and remember that whatever the soul is doing is because of their acquired sanskars or their buddhi or their mindset, you will not blame them for who they are, because you only blame when you see them in their role or in their position of authority, or all your expectations are based on that, right? Your expectations are based on their context as who they are in the society. So Baba says, if you just clean that thing away from you, you will be free from expectation and full of acceptance and compassion. And then Baba says, when you see somebody as a soul, remember the acquired sanskars and remember the original sanskar. Yes, so you remember that this person is behaving so and so because of their acquired buddhi and sanskar, but also that lying hidden behind these is the original quality. So just try to see that this is a pure soul behaving in an impure fashion right now. And as you keep that in your vision, you start unlocking their awareness of their purity. So this is the beautiful exercise that Baba is teaching us. But Baba says, when you are seeing souls with impure sanskars, seeing them in their purity will become a very difficult task if you have not practiced seeing the ocean of purity. So you see, when you are sitting alone with yourself, see your purity and Baba's ocean of purity. And when you have practiced seeing the subtle in the physical, or you have practiced taking yourself to that non-physical dimension enough, then even when your senses are trying to pull you otherwise, which is your ears and your eyes are trying to tell you, oh, this is gross behavior and what kind of a soul is this? So At that time, you will be able to deal with this and see through these layers of body consciousness which are trying to divert your attention. If you have done the inner work of seeing yourself in the body and seeing Baba, the bodiless one. Okay, so this is what Baba is telling us today. And let me read out the slogan for you. The slogan is, let your mercy be altruistic and free from attachment, not filled with selfishness. So you see, we were Tamo Pradhan when we came to Baba, and a Tamo Pradhan soul never performs an act of mercy. So we were very, very merciless. Okay, and then when we clean ourselves a little with Baba, then we move to the Rajo Pradhan state. And what is the Rajo Pradhan state? The Rajo Pradhan state is the businessman state. And what is a businessman's quality? They do everything but out of selfishness. So when you move a little up the consciousness you were in, then what you start doing is you start doing good acts, but then they don't come from a pure place, they come from a place of selfishness. So that's the second stage when you start doing something. So in the Tamo Pradhan state, you don't ever perform any act of mercy. So that's ruled out. But then in the Rajo Pradhan state, you do perform good acts, but then they come from a place of selfishness. And then Baba says that you are going to be deities and you are practicing for that. So what you have to check is your merciful actions have to come from a place of altruistic feelings and free from attachment. So whenever you are performing a good act, so first is you pull yourself to do a good act, and then you have to check whether you are doing it out of attachment or a pure altruistic intention. So, or selfishness or an expectation of getting something in return. Now, why does Baba say that don't do it out of selfishness or attachment? Because attachment and selfishness will bring you sorrow. Yes, so even the idea, even if you're attached to your idea of how it should play out. So when it is not completely merciful, then you don't remember Baba and drama, and then you start to dictate how it should play out. And then even if you're doing it with the attachment that it should play out in this manner, then you will experience sorrow. Let me give you a very simple example which I always give in the class. So you see a beggar on the street, and then you have mercy on the beggar, and then you think that this beggar is hungry and let me give him my freshly packed lunch. And you give that lunch to the beggar, and the beggar throws it into the dustbin and then says, I don't want food, I want money. And then you feel very enraged because you did it out of attachment to your idea of how it should play out. So, when it is that subtle, so, I'm not even talking about gross attachment. I'm talking about even attachment to your idea of how it should play out will give you sorrow. So Baba says, when you perform an act of mercy, that act of mercy is supposed to bring blessings to you. But that act of mercy will bring blessings to you only if it is done from a very altruistic place and a place where there is no attachment. No attachment. Attachment and expectation are two sides of the same coin. So there is no attachment to the your idea of the outcome, or your attachment to how that this person should be benefit. You just perform that act of mercy because you are merciful, and then things take place as drama wants it to take place. So what I told you about the four stages. So when you're tamo pradhan, no mercy. When you're rajo pradhan, you expect something in return. When you are wanted to have a consequence, even that is a sato state. You want it to bear fruit, even if you don't want it for yourself. You want it for someone. So you want that act to have a result, and that is sato. And then sato pradhan is when you just do it and leave it there, and that is called neki kar darya mein dal. So you just do it because you have enough, you receive so much that you can't stop yourself from being merciful. So that is it. Om Shanti.